Good morning, Dr. Fontenot.
Good morning, good morning.
What we'd like to do today is to get a review of the state of the art in low vision devices. What's new for 2017?
There are many things that are new, and we're particularly proud of all the apps that are now available, more coming out by the month.
Right.
And a lot of these are free. There are a lot of new OCR apps, that's optical character recognition, so that you can actually put your iPhone, your Android device, point it at something and have it read back to you if it's text. There's face recognition software out there. People who don't see well can actually have their handheld device recognize faces. They can do all sorts of things. There's navigational apps. So you can just ask your cell phone, where am I? It will tell you where you are. If you want to know where is such and such, it will give you directions. Say, go ahead 100 yards at 3 o'clock from your current position. There's all sorts of things out there. Some of them you have to pay a yearly fee for, relatively modest. None of them are expensive to the point that a lot of the traditional electronic devices that we've had. So many of the older electronic devices cost in the thousands of dollars, and there are a lot of much less costly alternatives to that now. There are all sorts of other devices, including head-mounted devices, which are here at the meeting in the technology section. At the technology pavilion this morning, we're having a discussion of multiple new devices, and some of them actually include devices which are similar to a Google Glass camera, and volunteers can tell you where you're going, what's around you. You can ask, you can interact with the volunteer and say, I would like to do such and such, what should I do? Or you can ask them, what is this thing I'm holding in my hand? These things are good, particularly for people who are out trying to perform daily tasks that previously were very difficult for them. Say if they're shopping and they need to know what's an expiration date, what's the cost, what are the ingredients, that can be related back to them. So we're no longer dependent on strictly the old optical devices, that is a lens with or without illumination. And the real advantage of some of these devices is you can change them. It's not one fixed type of magnification, one fixed color, one fixed contrast. So you can alter them depending upon whatever you want or need at the moment. So we've been very, very happy with the progress of technology, and vision rehabilitation is now becoming more and more technology oriented. So again, the emphasis again is on trying to make the ophthalmologists and the patients aware that these things are available. Most people do not know about all of the aids, the devices, the technology that's available to help them. And our mission here is to try and increase the knowledge of everybody, from the physician.
What are your strategies to accomplish that? Are you going to work through ophthalmologist offices? Are you working through the AAO? How are you going to accomplish that very critical task?
We are working at this meeting, particularly through the American Academy of Ophthalmology, trying to make the general ophthalmologist aware. We have open seminars, meetings. We have publicity about it in some of the sites around here, and just generally trying to make it available, the knowledge available, on the AAO website. We have a very nice video which was sponsored by the Reader's Digest Partnership for Sight, and which is introduced by Dr. David Park, the CEO of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and it's called There Is Something You Can Do. It's very short, 6.5 minutes, but it emphasizes that referral to vision rehabilitation services is now the standard of care for ophthalmologists, and strongly recommends that anybody who has any vision loss of any degree be referred to vision rehabilitation services where they can obtain assistance in trying to improve their function, maintain their independence so they're not as dependent upon their family, people around them, and society at large.
Are you trying to incorporate knowledge about low vision aids into continuing medical education efforts of the AAO?
We are very definitely doing that. Again, the One Network, it's on, that particular video is on that. We're trying to incorporate it into residency training programs so the young ophthalmologists coming out are more aware of these things than the older ophthalmologists were. Years ago, there was not much available, but now there's an awful lot available, and we're trying to make sure that everybody knows that it is available and make sure that people who are losing their vision are not wandering around trying to find things on their own, that they would be referred to the appropriate services by their ophthalmologist.
What's in the future?
I think in the future, with technology being, as you know, more and more accessible, more things available online, more rapid communication, I think things will continue to improve. What will improve is not just the technology itself, but also the availability, the knowledge of it, and the accessibility. So a person will no longer have to travel, say, to a distant city to obtain information or help. It would be available to obtain help online, possibly through telemedicine, and through all of the avenues of communication which are now available that were not available even as recently as 10, 15 years ago.
Would you like to comment on the positioning of autonomous vehicles?
Right. The autonomous vehicles have an awful lot of promise. As I'm sure you know right now, most of the states require that you have a sighted driver in the vehicle. So that's a big limitation. But once they are truly autonomous, where you do not need to have a person actually behind the wheel in the event of vehicle failure, at that point, a person who's totally blind could get into the vehicle and go where they wanted to. So there are a lot of pilot programs going on. California, in particular, I think Colorado maybe also, and we're hoping that those will pan out to the point where anybody who has any degree of vision loss would still be able to go where they want to without having to rely on other people. Not being able to drive is a terrific impairment in the United States of America. That public transportation still has some things to be desired, and we are almost totally dependent upon the car.
If you were to rank your top 3 apps right now for low vision, what would they be?
I think the ones that, and again, there are newer ones available by the day, almost. But I think some of the ones that are navigational, like Blind Square, is a good one. Some of the ones with volunteers who will actually tell you what you're looking at. Be My Eyes is a good one. There's a new one out there called Aria, A-R-I-A, which has, you pay for it, but it is a very good service. It will help you get around at airports and places like that, which are rapidly moving areas which prior to this time have been very, very difficult for people who are blind or severely visually impaired.
Are these apps available for both iOS and Android, or only one platform?
Yes, they're available for both. Now, if you want to compare the Android and the Apple products, there's a lot of discussion about this. The Apple products have probably more built-in accessibility features, so they're already there. You don't have to add them on. Almost all of the apps will work with either Android or Apple products.
You spoke earlier about GPS guidance systems. Are there any indoor GPS applications that you like?
There are some. They're not available in all public buildings now. So I don't think that's completely finalized at this point. That's being worked on, though. Again, particularly at areas like airports and public transportation areas.
Right. Dr. Fontenot, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us regarding the future of low vision aids?
I think the future of the low vision aids is that they will continue to improve. And the other good news is that there's more and more interest in them. We had a low vision symposium Saturday, and we had better attendance at the Saturday program than we've ever had. And most of the attendees were ophthalmologists. And so we were very heartened by the improved and the heightened interest in low vision rehabilitation.
Dr. Fontenot, thank you so much for this excellent update. We appreciate it deeply, and we look forward to future updates.
Thank you.